You ever get the feeling there's something more going on around us? Like an invisible world, a secret language that objects are speaking? Well, you're right. Today, we're going to crack the code on one of the most basic forces in the entire universe. We're going to uncover a hidden link that, believe it or not, powers pretty much everything you see. I mean, think about it. A simple wire and a magnet, they seem totally different, right? One's for your lamp, the other just sticks stuff to the fridge. But what if I told you they're basically two sides of the same coin? And the discovery that linked them? Well, it was a total accident. Let's dive in.
Okay, so our story starts like a lot of the best scientific stories do, not with some big elaborate plan, but with pure dumb luck. We've got to go all the way back to 1820 and meet a guy named Hans Christian Ørsted.
So picture this. Ørsted's in the middle of a lecture, right? And he's got this wire with an electric current running through it. And nearby, there's a compass. Suddenly, the needle just twitches. Just a tiny little jump. Now, most people would have just ignored it, written it off. But he didn't. He knew he was seeing something big. That little twitch, that was it. That was the first time anyone had ever seen proof that electricity and magnetism weren't these two totally separate things. No, they were connected. Deeply. An electric current could actually create a magnetic force. And that one tiny observation, it kicked off a whole scientific revolution. All right, so we've established that an electric wire can act like a magnet. Cool. But what does that force actually look like? I mean, how do you draw a map of something you can't even see? Well, turns out you can. Probably the best way to picture it is to think of it like invisible art. As soon as that current starts flowing through the wire, it creates this thing around it we call a magnetic field. Think of these beautiful swirling patterns, kind of like a mandala, radiating out from the wire. You can't see them with your eyes, but oh, their effect is absolutely real. So what is a magnetic field officially? Well, it's just the area around a magnet or a wire with current where you can actually detect its magnetic pull. It's its zone of influence. If you put a compass in that zone, the needle is going to move. That's exactly what Ørsted saw. So how in the world do we know they're these elegant curves? Because, and this is the cool part, we can actually make them visible. You've probably seen this experiment. You sprinkle some tiny iron filings on a sheet of paper, put a magnet under it, and they don't just fall anywhere. Bam! They snap into this perfect pattern of curves. They're literally tracing the invisible force for us. These are what we call magnetic field lines.
And these lines, they have rules they have to follow. For starters, they're always closed loops, flowing from the North Pole to the South Pole. And where you see the lines all bunched up and close together, that's where the field is the strongest. But the big one is this. They can never, ever cross each other. I mean, think about it. If they did, a compass at that spot wouldn't know which way to point. It'd be totally confused.
Okay, so an electric wire creates a magnetic field, and it's made of circles. Got it. But that just brings up another question, doesn't it? If the field is made of circles around the wire, which way are those circles going? Clockwise? Counterclockwise? It's not just a coin flip. There's a rule, like a little secret handshake, that tells you the exact direction. And the best part is, you've always got the key to this code with you.
And that secret code is something called the right-hand thumb rule. It's a super simple, super clever trick to find the direction of that magnetic field using, you guessed it, your right hand.
Seriously, you can do this right now. Just imagine there's a wire in front of you, and the current is flowing up towards the ceiling. Now take your right hand and point your thumb up in the same direction as the current. Go ahead, do it. Now just wrap your fingers around the imaginary wire. See the direction your fingers are curling? That is the direction of the magnetic field. It's that simple. Okay, so understanding this invisible force is pretty cool, but knowing about it is one thing. What if we want to amplify it, to make it way stronger and actually use it to do some heavy lifting? Well, that's where things get really interesting. Let's talk about how to build a super magnet. The secret ingredient here is something called a solenoid. Now that sounds super technical, but don't worry, it's really just a fancy word for a coil of wire. Seriously, just picture a spring or even a slinky, but made out of copper wire. By taking a boring old straight wire and wrapping it up into a ton of loops, you completely change the game, magnetically speaking. So check this out. When you send electricity through that solenoid, the magnetic field it creates looks almost exactly like the field from a regular old-school bar magnet. But here's its superpower. A normal magnet is always on. A solenoid, you can turn it on and off with a switch. You can make it stronger or weaker just by changing the current. It's basically a magnet on demand. But wait, there's more. We can crank this up another level. If you take that solenoid and stick a piece of soft iron inside the coil, and then turn on the power, that super strong magnetic field inside turns that iron bar into a crazy powerful but temporary magnet. And that is an electromagnet. This is the real workhorse of our modern world. And this is where it all comes together. That secret language we talked about at the beginning, it's not just some cool science experiment. This power is literally woven into the fabric of your daily life in ways you probably never even thought about. Just stop and think for a second. You see those giant cranes in a junkyard lifting entire cars? That's a massive electromagnet. Your doorbell? Electromagnet. The fan that cools you down? The speakers pumping out your favorite song? All of them. They are all running on this exact same principle. Electromagnets are the invisible engines driving almost everything. And the sheer scale of these fields is just mind-blowing. I mean, they're happening right inside your body. The little electrical currents in your nerves create their own teeny tiny magnetic fields. Then you've got the entire planet Earth with its own magnetic field that birds use to fly thousands of miles. And then on the total opposite end of the scale, you have the insanely powerful electromagnets in an MRI machine, which are strong enough to let doctors see right inside of you. It's incredible. So here we are, full circle. We started with this accidental discovery that electricity makes magnetism, and we've seen how that one idea powers so much of our world. But it leaves us with one last huge question. If electricity can create a magnetic field, can you do it the other way around? Could a moving magnet create an electric current? Now that is a story for another day.